Hello and welcome back to the podcast, What to Say and What to Send in Property Management. My name's Lee Woodward and joining me again this week is Mr. Nathan Pancini. Nathan, welcome back.
G'day Lee, great to be here.
And today's podcast is brought to you only due to the support of Detector Inspector. And Detector Inspector works with real estate agencies to make homes safer for tenants. Compliance management made simpler. And we would also like to thank Connect Now, who also support this podcast and make this your best year ever with Connect Now and the partnership that's focused on service and long-term success. Let's get started with today's program. Hello and welcome back to the podcast, What to Say, What to Send. My name's Lee Woodward and joining me today is our property management coach, Mr. Nathan Pancini. Nathan, welcome back.
Morning Lee, how are you?
Mate, I'm well. Since we did the last podcast, time has flown, but we had the complete property management day in Sydney, which was a sold-out event. Nathan, what did everyone come to see, listen to? What's going on in the world of coaching of property management?
Yeah, Lee, what a day. We had 84 people in the room, including, by the way, principals, new starters, plus people that had been in the industry for 20 plus years. It was a fantastic event. And they came to see, I guess, some things they already knew, some new things that you and I were talking about. But it was really a collaboration of people, and we were creating a community of property managers where like-minded people can reach out to each other, likewise with a complete salesperson course.
Well, Craig Nealon was in the room from Career Property, and one of the most famous audios I ever did was called Inside the Bunker, and it was Craig's amazing journey as a sales manager. So to see him at a property management event was interesting, and we got to chat with Craig in the breaks. And I know you've popped into the office and done some discovery there, but Craig just had that moment that many of our principals out there need to have. They've always been sales focused, and then suddenly they go, this is my best asset. What am I doing? And you know, you look at someone like a Craig Nealon who has incredible skills in lead generation and lead conversion. So applying the sales part of your skills to the best asset of the business has become a lightning moment for many of our principals around the country when they think, what am I sitting on here? And I've never really invested that time to, like, yes, you need a property management department. You've got to grow it up, and one day you'll maybe sell it or cash in that asset. But applying the blend of skills is such an important part of the real estate process.
Oh, for sure. And with Craig in particular, we've caught up a couple of times for a coffee post that one-day event. And he said to me, Lee, that he had goosebumps when he entered that room and heard us speak for the first time that day, because he realised the investment he needed in his property management department, and he needed to bring that investment back. It was something he focused on many years ago, and he walked away from that side of the business. So it was mind-blowing to see that response from someone like him.
And many principals with the same response in the room. And today we're speaking about mould. There's an exciting topic for you, but this is such an important topic for property management and for the protection of our tenants and the tenants that are just allowed to walk away because of this increasing issue right around the nation. Nathan, take us in your experience with mould and some of the things our listener needs to know.
Yeah, the really interesting thing about mould is it can happen anywhere. So I had a brand new 2-bedroom apartment in the city of Newcastle, and I pulled out a pair of shoes. I had to throw them out because it was covered in mould. Now, a lot of times we get tenants saying to us, oh, you know, it's an old house and the landlord hasn't done this, and there's bits and pieces involved in the property that are not done right by the landlord. But in that case, it was brand new. I literally was the first person living there, and I had to throw out a pair of shoes of mould. So I guess the demonstration of that is it can happen anywhere. There are control measures that need to be put in place by both the landlord and by the tenant, opening windows and doors, putting the exhaust fan on when you're on a shower, all of those things that we talk about all the time. And then, of course, the landlord needs to make sure they're doing the correct things, of course, insulation, ceiling fans, those types of things, making sure there's a screen door on the property, for example, would be a good one.
Well, Nathan, coming up on the program is Dean O'Neill from National Mould Services. A great interview as he talks about the organically friendly products that are now available in the marketplace versus the bleachers and so forth that we've seen in the past, which cause different damage and challenges. And they actually go out and do the full assessment on the property. They've got the Ghostbuster guns, the whole thing. It's going to be an exciting interview.
Yeah, Lee, and I think it's an important point because quite often when we go in and treat mould and other things in tenants' property, there is this fear of how's it going to affect my health and these types of things. So what Dean's talking about here is really an effective way to treat, and you can honestly then say to the tenant, well, look, this is a product that's not going to hurt you.
Dean, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on, Lee.
Dean, you're speaking to us from NMS, National Mould Services. But before we get into our interview and all this incredible information on mould, take us into your background. What have you done?
My background for the last 14 years has been mainly in compliance, working within the real estate industry, doing smoke alarm safety switches, corded window compliance and such. Last 18 months, we have been working on the mould side of the business, which has been very good. We've working with natural product. It's 100% natural. It's Australian made and produced. That's what we've been doing in the last 18 months, as well as the compliance obviously on the side. But yeah, that's pretty much been my background for the last 14 years.
And Dean, you sort of came into this as a hands-on approach. You were moving from the city to the country, and what happened?
Yes, yeah. Well, we decided to give up the beach and went for the country lifestyle, which has been fantastic. Once we moved out here, we found that we had a bit of mould issues. A lot of people out in the country do. Running our septic systems and everything out here, we always had to make sure that we used a natural product. And going into the marketplace, I found it very difficult to find something that was not just natural, but actually was effective and worked. With that in mind, we paired up with a company that produces a natural product. So we went down and met with them. We sampled quite a few of the products over about a 6-month period, and we found that they're just absolutely fantastic. We had to stay away from anything that contained heavy metals, bleaches, or anything like that. We kind of just implement that into our business now. So all the products we use are 100% natural.
Absolutely amazing. And I hear so many great business stories where it started with a real need versus an idea, and the product is amazing. Take us into that. What is the name of the product and how's it being used in the real estate industry?
Yeah, the main product is called Mould Control. The Mould Control comes in different forms. We have just a natural spray, so just a trigger bottle, which is great for day-to-day use. We have the Mould Control White, so it's exactly what it sounds like. It's just in a resealable pack that you can pull out a cloth, and it's already been treated with the solution, so you can just wipe over mould or any sort of problems you have around the property, like if there's a bit of mould or mildew or just want to sanitize something, you can use that wipe as well. We also have it in a liquid form, and we have what I call our atomizer guns. With the guns, you pour the liquid into the bottle that's attached to the gun, and that turns it into a vapor. Like on a daily basis, for example, like around my home, like we'd do it every afternoon or every morning, just depending on how busy we are. But yeah, takes us about 3 or 4 minutes to go around the home. It's just about 3 or 4 seconds per room, and yeah, it's just apart from the killing any mould, spores or mildew or anything on impact, it also kills 99.9% of household germs and bacteria as well. It's great for everybody. It's rated asthma safe. It's pet friendly. There's no heavy metals or anything in there. So if you're suffering from allergies, especially from dust and that as well, because it kills dust mites on contact, it's absolutely fantastic.
Dean, as you explain that, I've got this vision of like a full-on Ghostbuster walking around the building. Explain the nano gun to us.
Oh, yeah, Lee, the nano gun, it's fantastic. It's basically, I describe it as something that's just come out of the Apple store. It's fully rechargeable. It only weighs probably 150, 200 grams. It's very, very, very light. It's only a one-handed use of applications. Anybody can use it. Male, female, your son, your daughter, anyone can use it. So it's very, very user-friendly. It's not a very strenuous sort of procedure to do. Yeah, anybody can use the system.
Dean, what is the actual investment if our listeners or principal salespeople want to get this done on a house, either preventative or to fix mould, but for a standard 3-bedroom home, What would that investment be?
For someone to come out, say, for a property management property, if it was just for us to come out and, say, do a preventative spray would do for the real estate industry for $195.
Excellent. And for anyone out there that wants to become a mould buster, what's the situation there?
Well, we offer on-the-job training. If anybody does want to get into the industry, someone wakes up one morning and thinks, wow, I want to get into the mould business. What we do is, Lee, we can just send them out with one of our technicians and get them to show them all the ropes and what we actually do out at the properties and how to, when walking in, what we need to do. And then we send them on their way with a pack.
Well, Dean, this is really interesting and probably a story close to me at the moment. One of our daughters is living on a farm at the moment and the property's got mould. They're a tenant in that property. Getting rid of mould's one thing. Using the right products and having something environmentally friendly is very, very important. You can fix the mould and the mildew, but this is also be using for bed bugs, dust mites, the sanitising. So I think the wipe side of it is amazing. Deodorising, as you just mentioned then, it's in the vehicles, the cars, the boats, the planes, the trucks. A lot of hotels have taken on these products now because, again, the allergies and people coming through our properties. I think prevention is where this should be used most. And as you just said, you're doing it on a daily basis there. For our property managers in the property management space, how's this coming into the real estate industry and how's it being applied?
Well, what we've been doing is a couple of different approaches that we have been doing. One is obviously just receiving, work from a property manager, going out and remediating the problem that's there. Like we'll go through it first and we'll use our atomizer guns and we'll go through, and before we actually really do any work on the property, we will spray the whole home and then walk straight back out, and then we'll leave it locked up for about a half an hour, and that'll kill all the mould, bacteria and spores. You don't want to be breathing that in whilst we're in there. From there, then we'll go through and just do our clean with our products, the mould control products, the wipes and such as well. As you said, Lee, prevention is obviously the best solution because, as you know, if a home's really affected by mould, it can be very costly and time-consuming to fix. And whilst you're doing that, the tenants cannot be there, so it's a matter of having to move them out of the property. So that's a good idea to prevent it to start with. Another approach which we've just started doing in the last couple of months is offering a package to the real estate industry where the owners just get it done on an annual basis or a 6-monthly basis. What some agents are actually asked us to do is they're getting the owner to actually pay for it up front, and then making it part of their Form 6 is part of the tenancy renewal or a change of tenancy, is that the tenant, as part of the agreement, will pay to have it done as well to keep the property sanitised and free from mould.
Absolutely fantastic. And there's no reason why we can't, in the gift pack going in for the tenants going in, have the spray in there, have the wipes in there as well, because then the tenant will automatically repurchase those into the future, and that, again, is going to protect the asset.
Yeah, 100%, Lee. And that's what we want to do is, like, we've come across so many times where the tenant will just ring and just say, I'm sorry, we've got mould. You go out, the whole property, the property's just covered in it. Again, it'd be good to, educate the tenants as well. They do have to shoulder some of the responsibility. So if we've gone through and, if it's been cleaned and remediated and the whole property's done, the tenant should keep that going on an ongoing basis.
For anyone listening to this right now thinking, right, this is good, it's eco-friendly, let's even get some for the office and test it out. If they go to the National Mould Services.com.au, which is the NMS site, you've got 2 numbers there. One, say goodbye to mould, you can ring that number, and then 24/7 home service. What are those 2 services available?
The main number, obviously, get rid of mould is our daily day number sort of thing. So, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and the other number is our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week hotline. So, if there's any after hours queries or questions, you can also always contact that phone number as well.
And then, if you want to, the shop's on the site, so you can either book an on-site quote, or you can just go straight into the shop and purchase the products through there. Is there anything else our listeners need to know other than you got the spray pack, you've got the Ghostbusters gun there, which looks pretty amazing. I want one of those. But it's the same product. It's just applied in different ways, isn't it?
That's correct, Lee, yes. One thing which we've been doing quite a lot of lately is air conditioning units, the ducted all year round. So again, 100% safe. Allergies, asthma, it's all completely safe. So you can put it basically through your ducted or split system air conditioning units. Won't only just kill all the germs or any bacteria inside the in the system itself, but that'll also spread through the offices as well. Nice, clean and fresh, all through the office all year round.
And which product do you use for that? Are you just using the spray?
We're using there's a gel pack. It's for the split system air conditioners. Once you pull down the main vent where the filters are, you just simply, it's a blue plastic box which we slide across. You empty the contents, the gel in there. You close it back up and you just put it on top of where the filter is. You close it back up and that'll just automatically, once the fan's activated, will automatically take it through the offices.
Absolutely amazing. Dean, when the property management sector said to me, "What have you got on mould?" I said, "Nothing." And sure enough, these stories come up at the right time for the right reason. But congratulations on putting the site together and coming from compliance. You can see what a big issue is. And then your own situation there where you had to do it, but you can't just go out and use some of these very strong products that knock your socks off. For a product like this to be available, especially for bacteria and germs, is a great thing. Okay. So, Dean, they can contact you on 1300 175 642. Go straight to the shop, try the product out, but it's great to see that we've got something available for the real estate industry.
Yeah, that's right, Lee. They can also contact us on info@nationalmouldservices.com.au, and you can query any question. You can have any questions or any queries in relation to the products. We're more than happy to give you a call and run through them with you before you purchase as well.
Well, Dean from NMS, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hearing some results from our listeners.
Great. Thank you very much for your time, Lee.